Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had an interesting day today, right? Day's not over, but we saw Bitcoin starting to break out, and then everyone rushed in euphoria. Then, boom, it got slammed down. So, what is that all about? Is that like a flash crash? Is that a false breakout? Um, is that the end of it? Is that, the end of the fifth wave? Are we starting to head down now? Well, there's some ideas on the table that we can run by. So first, I wanted to bring your attention this right here. Does anybody see it? We're starting to see bearish divergence. You can see the price going higher and the RSI going lower, right? Now, obviously, the bearish divergence can be taken out, right? But at the moment, it is not. So that's one bearish thing you can look at. One bullish thing you can look at is we sort of broke this trend line here, right? So the RSI was trending down and we broke out. So we could potentially come down here and back test this area before coming up even higher, which would then just still mean more bearish divergence. Or if we can come up and challenge this local high up in here. So that's it's a couple ideas there for the RSI. So looking at the daily RSI, we're still in overbought territory, right? Pull this down a little bit. What we could see happen here is, I'm gonna draw. So basically this was our range, right? So the price broke into this range and it sort of created this Wyckoff accumulation pattern, right? Where you have your first top, then your second top, you pull down into your spring, and then you break out, right? So we broke out of the range, but we never came down to back test the top of the range, right? So we broke, this was our previous resistance. We broke above the resistance. What could potentially happen is we could come down, right? A, B, C, and back test the breakout zone. So back testing the breakout zone is one of the most bullish things you can do. Oftentimes people think, okay, we broke out. That's incredibly bullish. No, it is bullish. You're right. But it is not the most bullish thing. Breaking out is bullish, but it could be a false breakout. It could be, a couple different things, right? Um, and, we can even continue marching higher. But a lot of times, right, if you want, see, for me, I'm a hodler, right? And what I want is long term sustainability. And the way you get long term sustainability is by back testing breakout zones, right? For example, right, we had our bottom, we came up into the resistance, right? So this was our resistance. We met the resistance. Everybody says, okay, time to take profit, time to sell because we are pulling back. We had a sharp pullback. And what happened was we ended up, so let me do this instead. Watch this. So you see this little cluster right here? That's a cluster of price action, sort of like a volume profile. Um, so if you take that across, what happened was we back tested it, right? So we came up to the resistance right here. Everybody says, okay, time to sell. So we sell, we come down here. And now the not so smart money says, okay, now we're going to short. Not so smart money says, okay, we're coming down, we're going to sell because we're, going to crash. But the smart money says, look, we have this cluster right in here. What if we broke, first of all, we broke this cluster, right? We ran into this resistance, and then we came down, we back tested this cluster of support, right? And then this is why I want theta to do this, right? This is why I want theta to come down and retest 50%, because it allows the price to continue marching forward. It gives it more sustainability, right? So if Bitcoin just went like this, it would have just collapsed. But instead, right, it comes here, hits the resistance, back test it. And that back test says, okay, we confirmed the break above this support. So now, since it's confirmed and we held it, now it gives the price confidence, right? Think of the price like an insecure teenager, right? An insecure teenager constantly needs reassurance. I need to be reassured, right? You're walking down the hallway, you feel insecure. So your friends say, "Hey, you look good today. You got more confidence, right?" And so that's kind of like the price. Think of the price like an insecure teenager who needs constant reassurance. So the price comes up, right? It back tests the area, it holds it, it has that reassurance, and then it feels good about itself. It feels confident, and now it says, okay, now I can take out this guy right here. This guy was being a bully to me. I ran up to him, I shied away, I came back. But my friend said, hey, don't get scared. You look good. Go back and handle your business, right? So, right, you break out, and now you have the confidence to break out, right? Now you're in midair. You're in midair, and you're like, okay, now I don't like this. Maybe you might be afraid of heights, right? You're afraid of heights, and it's a little scary because you're not used to being up here, right? So what do you gotta do? What do? You come down and you back test the previous resistance, right? So now you have 2 points. Number 1, number 2. You break above, right? Now you're up here, feeling a little insecure. You come down, you back test. You hold it. You confirm the back test by holding support. Then you come all the way up again, right? You run right into what? Resistance. And then what do? Feel a little bit, you ran into a wall. You're not feeling so good. So you need more reassurance. You come down here, you back test it again. This is 1, 2 points of support after being 1, 2 points of resistance, right? So you break above these 2 points, and what do you think's going to happen? Are we just going to keep going higher? We definitely could. Not saying we can't. But oftentimes, when you break 2 points, just like this point and this point, oftentimes you come up and you retest 50% of the wave or the back test zone, right? So, we could come up here, which we already are, A, B, C. We'll back test this area. Doesn't have to. I'm not saying it has to. The price can do whatever it wants. I'm just giving you probabilities. This is not financial advice. The price of Bitcoin could do whatever it wants. It can go to $500,000. It could go to $500. I don't know. I'm just, speculating on what we see here. And what we see is a beautiful breakout, right? We got the breakout. So that was the easy part. The hard part is coming down to confirm the breakout, right? So just because the price breaks out doesn't necessarily mean much, right? In order to confirm the breakout, price oftentimes comes down, right? Nothing goes up in a straight line. Price comes down to test the resistance that it broke out of, right? So price broke above the resistance, and now it's insecure about itself, right? So it's nervous, it has anxiety, it's up there, it has no friends up here, right? He's alone. So oftentimes he's got to come back, meet up with his friends, and his friends are right here, and it gives him the confidence to keep going higher, right? Maybe those are bad examples, bad analogies, but you get what I'm saying. So we're up there hanging out and waiting for a decision to be made. Okay, so now we got that all taken care of. Little tutorial there. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see it looks normal. It looks normal, right? This area coming down here would be normal. If it continued breaking out, it wouldn't look so normal, right? So in other words, see here where price just went up, 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 up. Everybody feels great. But what happened? It went all the way down. Why? Because there was no back testing. There was no building layers of support. This right here is a box of layered support. This right here is a box of layered support. What that means is price is building sustainability. It needs to sustain itself, because if it just goes up, 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 up like this, up, 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 it's going to come down and it's not going to be fun. So I think the best way for price to move higher as an investor is like the stock market, in a way, where you go up a little bit, you pull back. You go up a little bit, you pull back. You go up a little bit, you have a bigger pullback. Then you go up, you continue building layers of support and marching higher. When price goes up and up and up, that's when I get nervous, right? When price comes down, I'm fine. When price goes up too fast, it gets a little worrisome, because, that's when things can happen. That's where structures can break. That's where bearish engulfing candles form, and that's where reversals happen. We don't want a reversal. We want a pullback. Pullbacks are different. Okay, so that would be my primary idea right there. And this would allow XRP, it would allow Theta, it would allow many other coins, for example, let me show you very fast. So here's the price of Theta, right? Just look at it as an altcoin. This is an altcoin. This is the story of most altcoins. Most altcoins have, boom, a straight line, boom. So yes, they can continue going straight, right? But what you would like to see is, here's your back test area right here. So between this area and this area, we can go up a little higher, of course. We can go up, maybe to $1, right? But the idea here is to come down and maybe back test these areas in here. Maybe all the way down here. Maybe right here, right? Something. Give me something that says, hey, let's pull back. Let's grab some new money, right? Because think about it. If you're a Theta hodler, an investor, and you bought right here, the price shot up here, are you going to buy it? Chances are you're not really going to buy that much, because you already bought it, right? If think about people who don't have Theta, think about people who don't have it, right? Yes, of course they can FOMO, but if you see a straight line like that and you're a smart investor, you're not going to buy the top, right? You want to see it come down, maybe back test, maybe not that deep, right? Maybe somewhere in this area, right? Before saying, hey, this breakout was legit. since it was legit, since we have that pullback, now and we back tested the area, and now we're starting to rise again, then it makes this breakout legit, right? Because we had that back test and it confirmed the back test, and now we're going higher, just like Chainlink did. I'll show you right now the example I'm talking about, right? So then we break, so potentially, right, we come down, we break out, we back test this area here, and then we continue marching to the upside. Or maybe we oscillate for a while and create some type of triangle or a pennant, right, before breaking to the upside. So what you really want to see, right, is some type of point where we say, okay, we're pulling back, things are cooling off. Because again, if you look at the RSI, right, look how overbought it is. That doesn't mean it can't continue to rise. What we can see happen here, right, is a pullback, right, down to here, which would bring the RSI down. And then if we get another high, then it comes up here. But then what happens is it creates that bearish divergence. So the price is higher, but the RSI is lower, right? So then you want to see a bigger correction coming back. Sorry, let me take that off the screen real quick. There we go. So you come up, you pull back, RSI pulls back. Then you break out, right? You break above the resistance. Then you sort of consolidate. You come up here and create that bearish divergence, right? That's okay. That's okay, right? And as you pull back, price pulls, the RSI pulls back, right? The RSI pulls back. This, by the way, is your trend line. And then we break out, and then we break out, and then hopefully, right? Hopefully when we do that, the RSI breaks this downward trend line, right? And then it sort of challenges this this local top or this local high in the RSI, right? So that's kind of what you want to see as an example. So a really good example is Chainlink, but also the bull market support band. So the bull market support band is crucial. Look how beautiful the price, we held up here, we held the bull market support band. We rose, we held the bull market support band. Then the price got a little bit too extended away from the bull market support band. And then obviously we had our bear market. And basically this bull market support band became the bear market resistance band, right? So now it's holding it as resistance, right? Plays around with it a little bit. And now what do we see happening? The price breaking above the bull market support band. You can see it broke about a little up there, but not nearly as the way it's doing now. So what we can see, right, is, and this goes for all crypto, not just data, but all crypto, right? So here's your band right here. Here's your band, and now it's gonna start curling higher. The price potentially could come down and back test and hold the band. Doesn't have to nail it perfectly, but come and bounce itself into the band. Think of the band like a support system, right? Or think of the price like an electric car. And the band is a power charging station. The car drives and it runs out of battery, right? What does it need to do? It needs to come and find a charging station. It charges up and then it continues higher, right? So then the band starts curling higher, right? We break above it, we consolidate, we come down, we touch the band again. and then we continue to rise. And this gives price long-term sustainability, right? And you can see beautiful symmetry, right? You could see price coming down, then you see it flattening out, and it's sort of rounding about. Beautiful rounded bottom, and that's what we want. That's what we want to see. So right now we have a big breakout, right? Price went straight up, but no pullback yet. So we want to pull back through time or through price, meaning it can just do this or do this. Or if it wants, it can come up here a little higher before doing this. So you could see this is up, this is up, this is up. If we break below the band and we break below this low, then I'm looking at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go. We have that another wave to the downside, which would take us into next spring. So there you go. That's what I'm looking for on theta. I've already said enough yesterday. Just giving you a quick update here. You know, you have your shoulder, your head, and now let's create this right shoulder where we come up, we pull back into the shoulder, and we continue marching higher, right? Breaking this resistance. When we break it, we want to come down and we want to back test the resistance before marching higher. Okay, so let me show you a great example. So here is chain link. You can see chain link. Now just remember theta, right? And a lot of other altcoins, right? Theta went higher like this, right? So did chain link. But did chain link continue going higher? No. What did chain link do? It pulled back into the bull market support band, breaking below it a little bit, right? But more importantly, retesting this support area. So it's not really back testing it, you're just retesting the support. So we came up, we retested support, and then what did we do? We broke above, and then what happened? The bull market band curled higher, we pulled back into the band, and then boom, see you later. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for theta. It's not as pretty, right? But you can see sort of a head, or I'm sorry, a shoulder, a head, and then it sort of created this right shoulder. But, you know, going back to theta, yes, it can continue going higher, but chances are you need some kind of pullback, and not just theta, but the rest of the market. And don't think of it as, okay, it's over with. Think of it as bullish continuation, because pullbacks offer more money to come in. They offer a sort of a recharging system, right? The price gets exhausted. Just like, you know, you're running a race, you get tired. You need to come and relax and drink some water. And that's what price needs to do, right? It's called the recovery phase. So, you know, we're in the building phase, and then you're in a recovering phase. So this is total 2. This is total 3. So basically every single altcoin on the planet except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And what we can see is a beautiful Wyckoff accumulation pattern, right? Boom, boom. You have that top, you come down, you have that second top, and then what do? You come all the way into the spring. All the way into the spring, you're creaking around, and then you go. And then what's happening now? We ran right into resistance. So what does price need to do since it ran into the resistance? Is it just game over and we're going to the downside? Chances no. You can see also a head, right, and shoulders. And that's kind of what's happening here. The shoulder probably needs to come up a little bit further this way, right? And what does the price need to do? Well, let me take everything off the screen so I can show you one more time. Boom. And Boom. So that's a good area right there. You can see support, 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 resistance, right? And that would be a good area for price to pull back into. So price had this creek or this spring, right? The spring phase. It reacted, it shot up into the resistance, But what is happening at this moment? We slammed right into a brick wall. Look at those red doji candles. Red doji candles are often a sign of reversal. Not always, but oftentimes, yes. Look how many green candles we've had. I mean, we've just been steadily marching higher. So a pullback would be healthy. Not to say that it has to come today, tomorrow, or even next week or whatever. But, we need something to say, hey, let us cool off a little bit. Let us back test. So a couple things here. This is the total 3. So basically this is all altcoins in a nutshell. So I want you to focus on this band, this support area here, and the bull market support band. So the bull market support band is rising higher, right? So it's gonna sort of cross into this area right in here. So I would say maybe December, January, right? A lot of times price sells off pretty hard in the beginning of the year, maybe for tax reasons, right? People don't want to sell for tax reasons. They'd rather wait till January, right? And then boom, what happens after January? Price explodes. I'll give you a great example. Look right here. Look at 2023 was right here. January 2023. What happened? Right? You had this final sell and then boom, price exploded to the upside. Right? So what we can see is price, we ran into the resistance. We want to see an A, B, C back test somewhere in here, maybe the band, maybe the top of here, maybe 364 billion to 355 billion. So let me actually put this on the 3-day so it'll be a little clearer. There we go. So yeah, somewhere in there. I guess I'll pull a retracement here. And what would that be? Look at that, 50%. You always want to see at least a 50% retracement right in there. I know it's kind of hard to see. There you go. So right in there, boom. We retrace. And then we come up to the 1618 maybe. Then come back down, back test it one more time, and then continue. But a lot of times when you are back testing on the way up in a range and you finally break this area, a lot of times price just goes, right? And you're at the 1618. A lot of time we play around in here and we don't even come back down to retest it. We just continue marching it to the upside. So there you go. That's kind of what's going on. That's kind of my thoughts here. Another thing before, like I said, we have this downward resistance line, which is what? Shoulder, head, shoulder. So it's complete. It's actually complete, right? And what did we do? We broke above the neckline. We broke above the neckline right in here. So we broke it. So since we broke it, right, we broke the neckline, what now? Well, we could just come and back test the neckline. We don't even have to come all the way down here, right? Price is so bullish, right, that we don't even have to come all the way back down. We could just, come up, right? We're what are we at now? 390 billion. We got as high as 400 billion. we could come down and back test this downward resistance line, which would be the new downward support line, which would be confirming the break above of this head and shoulders pattern, this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So there's 1, 2 for the back test, and then 3, we meet our measured move. So what is our measured move? Well, if I take a trend right there, and we're going to measure it out here, and then I'm going to take it right about where we broke out, and then I'm going to take this line here, put it right there, get rid of that, boom, right there, $553 billion. Or better yet, yeah, right around this this resistance area from this previous breakdown. So right in here would be a good area to look for some strong resistance, right? So looking at it zoomed out, we see, just real quick, downward resistance line, rounding bottom, Wyckoff accumulation with your spring and then your reaction, head and shoulders inversed, right? We broke out, maybe we come down, we back test, and we continue marching it to the upside. You think euphoria is here now. You have no idea. Just wait until we get up here. Potentially, we could get up here, right? If price breaks below this trend line and takes out this low, then it's going to be a big difference. It's going to be a totally different picture, because then at that point, I would look for a retest of this area and then continue going down, right? Or if we're lucky, that would be the final wave, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for price. This is the total 3, basically all altcoins, Theta, XRP, all of them, XLM, every coin except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, looking for price to get back into here before making a decision, right? So is this A, B, C, right? A, B, C, or is this A, B, C? And we're done. And now we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and going to the moon. We'll have to wait and figure that out. And last but not least, we have XRP here. This will be another example here, right? It looks entirely different than most charts, which is why I really like it. You know, we had this Wyckoff accumulation. We broke, this was our resistance, right? We broke above the resistance, but then we came back down and invalidated it because this was sort of an anomaly. This right here was an SEC anomaly that Judge Torres came and released her decision. And then when we, initially we go, okay, here's the breakout, we're going to back test, but then it fell right through. And that was mainly because Bitcoin had that big liquidation, which just brought the whole market down. So we reset, we started over, and what happened? Right, here's your resistance, and we sort of in this ascending triangle in here, right? So we're coiling into the apex of the triangle, and right when we came back under here, now we broke out. Right, so now we have a second chance. We got it done. We broke out. So now what? Well, now we can either come down and back test the 54-cent area, or better yet, back test the bull market support band. Right? So putting a line right here, right in there. So you see, let me actually take this down to the 1-day chart. Okay, so we had a great rise, right? We retraced this move pretty well, at least 50% of the wave or more actually, right? And then what happened? Now we're starting to pull back. So is it the end of it? Is it game over? Well, the bears are thinking, okay, this is A, B, and now we're going to get a big C wave to the downside and then go. And that could totally happen. But what I'm sort of looking for here is, you see this orange bull market support band. I'm looking at this to come up here, right? Starting to curl up. And I'm looking at price to sort of pull back into the band, right? Recharge its batteries, and then go, 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 go. So I know today is November 9th. The SEC and Ripple are sitting down right now discussing settlement terms. So maybe the decision will come out sometime this month. So if we do get a three-way pullback, that takes us to the end of the month around Thanksgiving, right? So the bull market support band comes up, price comes down, we back test this area, the settlement comes out, boom, fireworks, moonshot, incredible bull run on the way. Because then that would be what? That would be a completed Wyckoff accumulation. That would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? That would be a big 1, 2, 1, 2, which means now we're in the third wave, right? So this is wave 1 of 3, and now we're going to get wave 3 of 3, which wave 3 of 3 is the biggest wave typically. So isn't it kind of funny that the wave 3 of 3 is coming right when they announce the settlement or whatever they're going to announce? Maybe they throw the K's out the window. Who knows what happens, right? But this is looking very, very good for more bullish price action. So things can turn on a dime if the stock market decides to take a bigger plunge. Circling back to Bitcoin in just a second. I'm going to tie it all in together for us here. Basically, like I said, we want to see a back test and continuation. So that would be for Bitcoin. Let me put Bitcoin up. Okay, so Bitcoin is on the bottom of the screen. XRP is on the top. So back to what I was saying, we could come down and backtest this resistance, this old resistance, and making it new support. So you're backtesting it to confirm the new support. Same thing for XRP. If Bitcoin does that, we can come right down here, backtest new support, then continue higher, then continue higher. So that's how it comes all together. Now, if Bitcoin breaks below the support zone, then you can see the same thing happening for XRP, in which case I would look at this as an A, B, C, right? And Bitcoin would do this, right, before going higher. So that would be, for Bitcoin, an A, B, and then we get one more C, right? So we just finished the A wave, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My chart's getting cluttered. Let me take everything off the screen. So one more time. If this is an ABC, the bearish terms, right? We know the bullish terms, but if it's the bearish terms, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's A. And then we have B, and then we go up for 5 waves for C. So that would be A, B, C. So if we do come down, it's not the end of the world. We could come down and maybe backtest, or not backtest, but pull back into maybe that 20 to 23K area, somewhere in there, right? Before heading higher. So real quick, I'll just show you. So it would look like this, right? We have our A wave, we have our B wave, and then we come up for C. If that's the case, then I'm looking at this as a retracement, which further downside and a bigger bear market, right? Which would correlate with a stock market crash, things like that. But if we get this, then I would expect a major alt season right in this wave here. So Theta, XRP, all the big players, major bull run all season, right? Even potentially breaking new all-time highs, things like that. If this is not, right? So if going back to the bullish case, if we come down and we back test this area, right? Come down, we back test this area and then go higher, we have a better chance at breaking a new all-time high. But I'm looking at this area in here for some resistance. So actually not quite that high, but something like that, right? Which would put us right up into here, and that would be the big decision maker, right? And we won't talk about that until that day comes, but those are your ideas for you. So going back to XRP, you know, that would be an A, B, C, and then we go, or we come down, we back test, and then we go. Or, right, the ultra bullish count would be basically we don't really need to back test, but instead, let me just go down to like maybe the 6-hour chart. You can see here we have this 3-wave move already, right? 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's all we get. Maybe we come down a little bit further, right? And then we go much higher. So A, B, C, and then we go higher. Or, right, we come down here. We have a bigger 3-wave move. A, B, C. We run right into the bull market support band like this, and then we skyrocket. So there you go, guys. That's it. Don't want to make this video too long. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. What do you guys think? Are you guys bullish? Are you guys bearish? What do you expect to happen? What possibilities do you think is going to happen? I'm leaning towards A, B, C, but we could very well get this. If we break below this, then obviously the bearish case. But anyways, feeling a little better today. I was a little under the weather yesterday, so hopefully be back all normal tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so we're going into the weekend. Usually weekends sort of kind of maybe sell off. A lot of times they do because volume is lower. So if we do get a sell off, that's great because then it sets us up for next week, right? Maybe we get this up move next week. Then the next week after that, we get that final down move, and then we continue marching to the upside. If we're going to remain bullish, like in the short term, obviously macro is bullish no matter what. But in the immediate short term, then we're just going to sort of range in a box here, right? Up, down, oscillation before breaking out. So not financial advice. Thank you for watching. And until next time, see you later.